Another crucial question that comes up in almost every startup is the hiring of first employees. When should you hire your first employees? Well, a lot of it depends on how much you can cover among the founding team. The second you start adding real employees as opposed to contractors for well-specified projects, you're building up your burn rate. The biggest burn rate for a lot of startups are their employees. So you want to make quite sure that you either have the funds available or that you can procure the funds shortly before you hire employees. Otherwise, you create a huge amount of pressure. The biggest pressure that founders work under is the fear that they can't make payroll. So before hiring employees, make sure you can pay them for some time or that you know you've found product market fit so that you can easily raise the money to go pay employees. Also, people make lots of mistakes, especially first-time founders in hiring employees. And so if you hire employees too soon, you will make those mistakes very early and they may actually slow you down substantially. The biggest issue is a lot of first-time founders don't really know what to expect in an employee and how to find a really high-caliber employee. That's especially true if you haven't worked at another place where there were excellent, outstanding employees. So you don't have a pattern of what to look for in that kind of employee. Now, there are many ways of overcoming that challenge. You can have people work up something for you before you hire them. For instance, you can have an engineer potentially work on a specific project before you hire them. Or you can go to people who have successfully hired high-quality engineers and you can ask them to help you with that. Whenever you're hiring, a common mistake for first-time entrepreneurs is not to meet enough people for any one role. Especially early on, when you don't have anybody to compare somebody new to, it's very important that you meet multiple candidates so that you create comparison for yourself. Overall, hiring is incredibly hard. And it will take up a lot of your time. So be 100% sure that you are at the stage where you need an employee and where you can afford an employee so that then you can invest all the time that is required to hire well. You're better off without an employee than with an employee who is not getting the job done. Another common mistake in hiring the first employee is to hire somebody who is highly specialized. There are very few instances where that makes sense for a startup. Most of the time, you want somebody who is quite flexible and can work on many aspects. You want somebody who themselves is a self-starter, who doesn't need a perfectly specified roadmap for what to work on, who will take initiative. Those kind of attitudes are as important as ability when it comes to your first hire, because you will not have the time to perfectly specify the problem, to break it down to an exact, precise thing that somebody can work on. And so as you look for your first employee, you want to look as much for the attitude that this employee brings to your startup, the willingness to work with things that might change rapidly, that might be underspecified, that involve risk and uncertainty and a lack of clarity. If they don't have the attitude that goes with this, it doesn't matter how capable they are. Now, of course, attitude isn't everything. You need ability as well. But it's crucial in your early hires that you have people who have a startup attitude that they bring to you. Ideally, when it's time to make your first hire, you already have a list of people you want to be on your team. Where does that list come from? I call it the ABC of hiring. Always be collecting candidates. Successful entrepreneurs, when they encounter people who are very good at what they do, who are highly motivated, who show initiative, they make a note saying, I want this person on my team. So as you go through life, even before you have your idea, possibly, even before you've incorporated your company, when you encounter such people and when you know that you want to start a company, make sure you know who they are, they know who you are, you stay in touch with them, and you put them on the list of people you would like to be on your team.